What up, YouTube? It's the Ways and I'm Tia. Today we're back with another video. I'm especially excited because we're gonna get into the new palette that dropped this season by Natasha Denona. I Need a Nude palette. Yes, I'm excited to play in this baby. I just received it today. I want to give you my thoughts. I want to try it out. This will be a first impressions video using this palette. I think we're going to try to do 3 looks. Try it out. See if we get a natural vibe, a more smoky type vibe. I'm really intrigued to see what this palette can do on my skin tone. So if you want to see this baby in action, then definitely stick around and let's play in this palette. Okay, but during the intro, go ahead and subscribe if you're not part of the fam gang. If you are, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can be updated every time I load a new video. I'm so excited. Let's go. Let's go. So wow, look at Natasha Denona just dropping palettes on us. Like, I just can't. We just had the Yucca palette, which I absolutely love the Yucca palette. I love the tones, I love the yellows, I love the greens, I love the grunge. It's just more of a neutral palette for me with a twist. So I think it's great. This is a nude palette. It's called Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. And this is what the packaging looks like. This is the box that it came in because I keep all my Natasha Denona boxes. It's more of a off-white with a little undertone of pink or gray tones, which I actually really like. And then this is the palette itself. And then you can poke out these shades as well. Let me show you what the inside of the palette looks like. This is the palette. Yes. So I was intrigued because it is a cool toned palette, which the Glam palette is one of my favorite Natasha Denona palettes. Yucca is right up there though, and it has more warm tones, but cool tones. I love the Glam palette. I was intrigued by the shimmers in this palette. She has some new formulas going on. I like the darker shimmers as well. When I first looked at it, I wasn't sure because there's not a lot of depth in here. That's kind of the only depth. And then you have this one. You have some peachy type terracotta shades. I want to see how these 3 shades appear on my skin tone as they are a little lighter. I feel like they look a little lighter on camera than they do in person, honestly. And one thing I notice about Natasha Denona shadows is they do oxidize. Like, a lot of them get deeper. So I really want to see how this is going to play out. I'm not a huge pink person. And I see a lot of pink undertones in here. Like, that's just the vibe I personally get. Does have a little gray taupey moment, and I do love that. But I want to see how this plays out. There's only out of the 15 pan palette, you only have 6 mattes, and only 1 is really dark. And I like to deepen up my looks, so I don't know. I really want to play in this palette. I'm excited to try it out and see how it works. I hope I love it. I hope this is something that I would just want to pull out and go to. It looks very glam to me, honestly. Like the Glam palette, like sparkly. I feel like I'll use these shimmers with other mattes in my collection. If not like Natasha Denona mattes, or other mattes from different brands. I just very more or less intrigued in regards to the shimmers. So I'm going to run the swatches so you can see how they look on my skin tone, and we're going to hop into this palette. Here are the swatches of the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. It's a little gloomy out here, but we are getting some sunlight, so you can really see the shimmers and the mattes and the sheens and the wet shades in this palette. Hope you're catching the vibe. So you've seen the swatches. I haven't swatched this palette yet, so I really don't know. I believe there's like 4 different textures in this palette. You have your mattes, you have some satins, you have some sparkly shades that were like in the previous palette, and then some new wet type shades. I don't know the names exactly. I didn't pull it up, but there's supposed to be some wet type shades in here. I think Mia and Delilah are 2 of the wet new formulas that she created. So that's cool to have different textures and finishes in one palette. The other thing that I really like about this palette is the packaging, the outside packaging. It's nothing like too exciting or anything like that, but when I look at like the Glam palette, it's flat, right? And you can see all my fingerprints on it. Where this one, it's more of raised and it's more of a plasticky film on top. So my fingerprints are all over this palette, which I like. When I first saw the palette, I thought of the Glam palette. I'm just gonna show you them side by side because now that I have it in my collection, I think they do not look alike. I think there's some similarities in the tones in regards to it being a cool tone palette, but I don't think that they are, like if you have Glam, you'd be good without. I Need a Nude. I think that they would be a nice mashup, honestly. It looks a little different, like this one might be larger pants, but I think that's because this Glam has a black base on the outside, but let you see comparisons. Yeah, I think this one goes a little bit more brown, where this one has a little bit more pink. This one has a little bit more gold. This has a little bit more silvery tones. I don't think that they're exactly alike, but I definitely think they could be companion palettes for sure. So anyways, let me pull you a little closer. Okay, so I'm so excited to put these shadows on my face, but let me tell you what I prepped with. I pretty much did most of my face besides any color. I did all of my complexion, and now we're gonna put some color to this face. So what I did was I went in with my Benefit brow pomade, and this one is in 3.75. I love this stuff. Like I be forgetting about it, and I seen a little like catalog with it in there, I think for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty or something. And I'm just like, this stuff is fire, and it was so easy to do. So I have this on. And then I went in with my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Caramel to clean up my brows. I went in my MAC Pink Pot in Contemplative State for my eyeshadow base. I went ahead and used the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. This is one of my favorites right now, and this is in white 10 to do concealer and highlight around the face. I set that with my Charlotte Tilbury powder, and this is in number 2, a medium. And then I went in as my foundation with my Fenty Beauty powder, the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation, and this is in 385. Love this stuff, and using it today made me realize how much I do love it. I haven't used it in a while. And just for my contour bronzer type situation, I pulled out my Patrick Ta for face. She's chiseled cream contour and bronzer palette. And I honestly just use the powder to like, I think it's more of a contoured shade on me, but just to bring some life and some color and some dimension to my face. And so that's where we're at. Let's stop talking about everything else and let's just talk about this I Need a New palette by Natasha Denona. Okay, so I think I want to do like kind of wearing browns and stuff. What I think we're gonna do is I want to see how these colors look. So I'm gonna go into this color called Stone, which is in the corner here. I'm a little disappointed because there's no cream to powder shades in here, which I absolutely love from her, but that's okay. We'll deal with it. Natasha. Just cleaning out my eyelid, make sure I have nothing there. And we're gonna go into this color Stone, which is a matte, and I don't know what brush this is. I think this is from like the Cream Shot or something, but it's very fluffy. We're just gonna throw this color in the crease. and see how much we can build this up a little bit on my skin. Ooh. With a base that has a little bit of a color to blink everything out on my eyelid, and then to put this color on top. Yes, it's taupey. I love this color. And it looks very, very light. Even with all my lights, it's still, you can see that's the darkest shade. This is it. It's pretty light in the pan, and you can see how it's building up to give me just a nice wash of color that has that taupe vibe to it. Beautiful. I like that it's not ashy. I was scared that I was going to get a lot of ash from this palette. Look at that. Okay, I'm feeling that color. Yes, I like that. So what I want to do is I want to take this other color called Tinder, which is a little deeper than the color we just used down here, which is Stone. And I want to see how deep it goes compared. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to put that under my bottom lash line. And this is a Lavish ice shading brush. I'm going to pick up my mirror and try to get really close to the lash line. Yeah, you can see the difference. Ooh, I like it because it's not too deep, but it's doing a little something. So if this was like an everyday look, like going to the office or something, like I think that's really pretty. I was nervous, y'all. I was like, are these gonna show up on me? I do want to go into the darker shade here. And this is a EO4 by Singe, and we're just gonna press this out here on the outer V. We're just pressing. I was hoping this would have been a cream of powder, but it's not. That'd have been nice. Then you would have like 5 different textures going on in this palette. Kind of bringing it down like if it was a liner. I like that because it looks a brown. It looks like purple in the pan to me, but now on my eye, it looks like a dark, deep, cool tone brown. Take the original brush I had. Ooh, we could totally do like a all matte look right now, but we're not. But this would be a nice little setup for all matte look. We could just really go into this color called Fair, and that would be fire. I think that would be fire, but we're not. Wow, I'm more excited than I was. I seen some reviews and it's just like, it's a light. It's a light. And when I bought it, I questioned. It's like, got on the first day at Sephora. It sold at Sephora. It's sold at, I believe, Ulta. You can get on Natasha Denona's site. And I was just like, I am Rouge. So it came out and I was like, man, I want to get it. I don't know. Do I want to get it? Do I? Contemplating. And then I just said, screw it. I'm going to do it. I want to try it out and see what it do. And then I was seeing some reviews because I hadn't got my palette yet. And people getting it like so fast. And then I was like, dang it. It's light. But now I'm feeling this vibe. All right, let's throw a shimmer on here. Let's see what we want to do. What is calling my name? What we're going to do is we're going to use 2 shimmers so we can try out some shades. So I'm going to go into this color called Tavertine, which is this like satin over here. It looks like a darker taupey satin, and we're just going to lay this here. Kind of going along the lid of that shadow, the dark shadow, in that negative space that was like right there. Okay. Let me take this mirror off. Just rip me out the package. I've been acting brand new. I had to do it, y'all. Bring me out the package. So this is just like your normal subtle sheen, which I think would be pretty for an everyday type of vibe anyways. It is giving me a little pop in here. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna kind of blend it over that darker shade just a little. Go back in Tavernine. Oh, let me swipe these for you too. I be forgetting what I be telling y'all. Okay, let me swatch these. So this is Stone, the first color we use. Okay. You've seen the effect on the eye was different though because I had a base. Then we went into Tinder, which was the color I put on the bottom lash line. Yeah, that gets deep. I like that too. You can see taupey gray. Then we went into the darker color, the darkest in the palette. Yeah, they have that gray vibe. Then I went into Tavernine, which we put on the outside of the lid, the shimmer. Okay, now let's throw a shimmer on the lid. And I think I want to go into, for some reason, this color Delilah is calling me, which is this color right here, which I think is one of her wet looking shades. So let's do that. I'm gonna do it with my finger. Very smooth shimmer. Ooh, way deeper than I thought. But the shimmer is there. You could tell from the satin to Delilah the difference that makes. All taupey silvery type of shades though, but that's really pretty. I think it even translates different on the eye than it does on my finger, on my swatch. That's very sparkly. I bet it would look really, really good too. And it's not like putty. Looking at it, I thought it was like a putty shade. I think that's pretty. Okay, let's take a little bit of Sheen. It's a little bit more of a pinky vibe, but why not play with more colors? Let me swatch it. It's this shade down here. Has more pinky vibes. That's really pretty. Put it right next to it. It's more of a Sheen. It's called Sheen. I don't know if you can see the pink in there, but it is more pink than the color next to it, which is a little bit more taupey. And we're just gonna drop that as like an inner corner highlight. And along the bottom. Okay, I like this look. Let me throw on some mascara. I'll do my other eye and I will finish my face and we'll wrap up this first look. I am a cool tone type of chick, so I'm really kind of feeling this. I didn't think I would be, but I am. So let me blend, fix some things up, and we'll come back and show you the final look. So this is the first final look using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I'm impressed. I'm actually really liking my look. I like that it's neutral, right? But it's taupey and it's cool tone, and that is my vibe. I really like it more than I thought that I was going to. So this was exciting so far on what we used. We used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 shades so far out of the 15 pan palette. So that's kind of cool to create this look, but it was so easy. It was so easy to do. Let me tell you how I wrapped this look up. So in my waterline, I did throw in a little bit of black eyeliner. This is from the Sephora collection, the Ultimate Gel Eyeliner in Waterproof. and it is in Black Matte 01. Then I went in with my Bad Gal Bang mascara by Benefit Cosmetics. Okay, for my face, I went in with my blush from Pat McGrath Labs, and this is in Paradise Venus, which it's really, really pretty rosy pink. Not too warm, not too cool. I thought it would be perfect for this look since it's pulling taupe, but I'm getting a little bit of the pink vibe as well. But I like that it's pink, but it's not pink pink. And I know we didn't use a lot of the pink tones except for the inner corner highlight, but yeah. So for my highlighter, I went in with my Jaclyn Cosmetics, a little highlighter here, just a mini in Iced. Yeah, we want to go icy with the cool tone vibes, absolutely. So I thought that was fitting. For my lips, I went in with my NYX lip pencil, and this is an espresso. It's just a cool tone brown. And then for my lips, I went in with, or my lipstick, I went in with my Kaleidos Cloud Lab Lip Clay, and this is in Skinship. It's a really like nude pink. It goes with the whole vibe of this palette. Like that's probably a shade in this palette. Really, really pretty pink. I don't do a lot of nude lips, but I think this is a perfect, like, I'm really, really feeling this look. I think it looks really, really pretty, and I feel pretty, and I'm excited. I'm actually, it's a neutral palette, but for me, with my skin tone, I feel like it's a neutral palette with a twist. Like I do. Cool tone vibes. Like, it's cool. Normally, my skin tone, you'd have neutral warm shades, and I'm kind of impressed so far about what this vibe is doing. So I'm ready to play in this some more. So let me know in the comments, are you feeling this look? If you are, then drop me a pink heart in the comments. Pink heart. I don't even know if they have silver hearts as emojis. So drop me a pink heart in the comments, and let's get on to look number 2. All right, y'all, let's get into the second look using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I'm ready to jump in here. I think I kind of want to do like a halo type vibe today. We are in natural lighting. I always have to mention that because I don't know how it's gonna look. But the good thing is I am getting some blinds, so I think that will help. All right, so first, because I just want to try out a couple more colors and see what they do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this color called Wit, which is right here in the corner. And I kind of want to see what we get out of that. This is it. This is it swatched. Okay, so like a pale pink. I mean, not really pale, but like it has a little warmth to it, but not too much. Let's see how it translates on the eyes. I'm just gonna take this fluffier brush by Morphe M433. I have my whole face done. We're just gonna take it on the inside here, just like a wash of color. That's what I want anyways. And then on the outside of the eye. Kind of through the crease is fine. Through the crease is fine, make it easier. So, and blend it out. I did go in with pretty much the same base products, except for my foundation. I did go in with my Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation, and this is in 5W. I'm going out today. And I didn't want just the Fenty powder. I did wear that too, just to set in certain places. But I wanted a little bit more of, I don't know, some hydration underneath. Because sometimes I feel like the powder sits in my fine lines. I love what it does, but I don't want to be dry. So I did that. Okay, so what I expect is a pink. Hopefully you can see that really good. Kind of up one of my lights here. We have light but natural lighting. It just looks kind of weird. I'm still trying to figure that out. See how it looks on both sides. This color, like that's one thing that was throwing me off about this palette is I felt it was very, yeah, it's nude or whatever, but it feels very pink leaning to me. But I'm also, that's okay because I have the glam. And it's not as pink as I think because our last look wasn't pink, right? It had a little specks of pink in there, but we did get some like gray taupey tones, so that was nice. But this would be a nice little mashup with the glam palette. I also think my love palette, like because it does have some pinky tones and then I can switch it up. That's kind of the vibe I want to do with this look, pink and red. I'm gonna do it with a little twist. You know, this seems like a nice color that you could just drop in your crease and blend out. And then put like a pale, maybe like this pale fair color on your lid and it would be nice and elegant looking. Throw on some liner if you want. This isn't the best brush. I really cannot stand these Morphe brushes, but I really need to clean my brushes. Okay, so that's what that color looks like. Next I want to go into the color Vague. Right here. I think we might get a little bit more depth, so I want to see. Actually, no. What I'm going to do, it is deeper. Like that's kind of looks purple on my skin tone. You see how it's going mauve-y like? Actually, I'm going to take this underneath the eye. I'm going to take this Sigma E55. I love this brush, shading brush, and go into Vague. And we're just going to drop this underneath the lower lash line. It really translated kind of taupey purple on me. So that's not bad. It gave it a little bit more depth underneath our eye. I don't think it would have gave the kind of depth I want going on top of that shade. I think it had to be like, for my skin tone, one or the other in the crease. I'm gonna smoke it down a little bit. I think that's a pretty color. I think I actually like this one better than what we put on our lid, Wit. But I also didn't expect Wit to get as deep as it did. Looking kind of warm. I feel like the lighting is changing because of the sun outside. So bear with me. I hope it's okay. We'll work through it. Okay, next I want to go back into, which is the deep brown looking shade. So that's where we're at. And I'm going to take this Sigma E45. It's kind of like tapered. And we're going to take it in. We're going to go lightly and go into the inner corner and pat it into Wit. Like that to give us some depth. I don't want to go up too high, so that's why I really like this brush because it's small enough to where you can be really detailed. Oh, that's nice. And we're going to take it on the outer edge here and just pat as well. Because this is kind of angled, we can go at a little bit of an angle, which is fine. And in on the crease. I don't want to take it through my crease. I really just want to have those two tones. And this is a blending brush, so you can kind of maneuver it to where it needs to be for your preference of your eye shape. I'm going to take a little bit of this on the bottom as well, on the outer edge, to connect to the top. We're going to, me, my little sister, and my husband, we're going to Red Lobster for Shrimp Fest. Really excited. Okay, I'm gonna go back into this brush by Morphe and just kind of blend the edges out with Wit, so we have no harsh lines. All right, so then I'm gonna take this same brush. This is the E55, and I think I want to go into. Let me swatch. I think I want to go into Ella. Yeah, let's go into Ella, which is this shade right here. It's a satin. It's very, I've noticed like the satins in this one, like from Tavertine that I used in the last look, are very subtle. Very, very subtle. I like the tone, but I wish it had a little bit more oomph. It is a deeper shade. I just want to show you on that side because you can barely see it on this side. But let's see how it goes on the lid. So I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to really pat it on the inside here before where I'm going to put my shimmer. So everything blends in the outside here. Like in this space between the black or the deeper shade and where I'm going to put my high impact shimmer for the halo. You could, if you want to keep it real subtle, like you could have just did Ella all in the middle here. But I kind of like having some kind of transition that's a little bit more subtle between the dark shade and the shimmer that's going to go down. So everything can kind of just mesh together. And I think that's a really pretty, that was like the perfect shade because this Ella shade has a pinky tone to it, mauve pinky tone. All right, I think what I want to do is, I think I want to go into Muse. Yeah, I want to go into Muse. Is this color right in the middle? I think that's going to be it. Oh yeah, baby. That is beautiful. That's what I want. That is gorgeous. Okay, I think we're just going to go in with our fingers, honestly. I don't think I want my big finger, my pointy finger. I'm just gonna pat this in that negative space between the two shimmers on each end. Kind of take it a little higher. Ooh, at that angle. More impactful at the bottom of the lid. Wow, that's a pretty shade. It's just sparkly, it's metallic-y, it's glistening. Wow, just blend. I take my Sigma brush. Oh, I think that's really pretty. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take a little bit of that shade. I'm gonna use this packing light brush again from Sigma. Let's see if I can get some on here. Muse. Really doesn't want to pick up. It is creamier, I feel, than those other shimmers that we use. Delilah so far. Delilah had more of a sparkly, like really, really sparkly effect. I'm going to spray this a little bit. And I'm just going to drop it in the middle. Okay, I think it's really, really pretty. I'm going to do a little bit more blending here on the edges. I'm going to drop on some mascara, maybe put something in my waterline and wrap up this look for you guys. My beautiful niecey here wanted to say hi. This is Harlem.
Hi.
Yes, and she wanted to tell you something.
Make sure to like and subscribe to my auntie.
Hey, thank you, baby.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you.
Yes, so this is the final look using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I really love how this look came out. I think it looks a little bit, I don't know, I haven't seen the footage, but I'm gonna assume it looks a little bit better in person because I feel like the tone is off, but give you like a little bit more of a close-up look. I really think it's really pretty. I like the halo eye. I think it's a very classy but like fun. So how I wrapped up this look, I mean, I use a lot of the same products that I used in the previous look, and everything will be listed down below. We went in with the Pat McGrath blush. Yeah, you could tell the color is off. But for my highlighter, I did switch it up. I went in with my Cookie highlighter by Benefit Cosmetics. This color just reminded me of the color we kind of put on our lids. I also used it as a highlighter, and I used it like to highlight my brow bone in my inner corner highlight, and just like my regular highlighter all over the face and the nose. And then for the lips, I went in with my Kaleidos Cloud Lip Clay, and this one is in Echo Valley. Kept it very like nude and also very taupey because I love that tone. And yeah, this is what we ended with. So let me know what you think of this look in the comments. I think it's a very smoky and sexy. Drop me a black heart if you're feeling the vibe of this look. Let's get into one more look. We got to do one more look with this palette. I want to try to use as many colors as possible. So let's get into look number 3. All right, y'all, let's get into this final look using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I'm excited. We've used most of the colors in this palette. I want to try to use the colors that I have not used so we can use everything. So that's going in with Mesh, I believe Fair, Filigree, Ella, Whisper, Sheen, and Mia. So that's a lot of shades that I have not touched, but we're going to see what we can do. First thing is with Mesh. It looks a lot like Stone. So let me swatch them for you, and let's see if we can get a different vibe on our, like, see what we get on our eyes. So Mesh is the color that I'm going to go into, and Stone is the color that I use. Yeah, very, very similar. This is Mesh, and this is Stone. And Stone definitely came out different on my eyes than I thought. Actually, Mesh, once you can see that they're kind of like settling down. I don't know if the camera is doing this justice, but this color has a little bit more, Mesh has a little bit more purple in it. Well, I thought maybe it's more pinky, and this one has a little bit more purple gray. So let's see what Mesh do. I'm going to take a rougher 27, which is just a fluffy type brush. So y'all, I filmed the other 2 looks, and then it took me a second to get back in here. Just so you know, also I have my full face done. Besides color, I went in with the Fenty powder again for this look as my foundation. But yeah, it is Labor Day weekend, and I hope to get this video up. Actually, it's the Friday of Labor Day weekend. And I'm hoping to get this video up today or tomorrow for you guys. You know, I'm not on point and you know, as fast as some people get these videos up. But I like to take my time and not have to be the first person. And sometimes it's nice to let the dust settle a little bit. But yeah, there are a lot of new things coming out. So get ready for Halloween. Get ready for the holidays. We've already seen holiday releases coming. And, you know, we'll be in the first of the year in no time. So this color, it's just giving a hint of something, not much, honestly. I felt like Stone did more for me than this color is. I am using a fluffy brush because I do just kind of want it wherever. And I think that's what this color would be good for. It gives a hint. It gives just a hint of something. Like, okay, my eye's not bare. That's what it looks like. My eye is not bare. There's a flush of color, a little bit more of a purpley tone on the eyelid. So it is doing that for me. It's giving me a purpley taupe vibe. Not mad at it, honestly. If it's just something I just want really quick, I feel like if I were to throw on some foundation or mascara with this, it will look really good. Or a liner. So cool. Now I want to try the color Fair, which is very, very light. I want to see what it looks like. So this was the color we just put on our lid. This is Fair. So very, very pale pink. Matte. Let's just take it. I'm taking the Refer 27 on my color switch. And I'm going to dip into that color. I'm just going to run it along my brow bone. Just to brighten up there. We might use it like an inner corner highlight. But we have a couple more colors to try out. So yeah, Drake is coming to the valley of the sun. And I'm sad. Why does Drake think, I went back into the color mesh. Why does Drake think that we have money? Like, who can afford a Drake ticket? Like, you gotta be balling or saving or you ain't got no kids. Like, what? $300 to $1,000? Has he bumped his head? Like, I'm so confused. Is he not a millionaire? Like, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just irritated. Okay, I want to go into the color. Man, I don't think I'm going to be able to use all the colors, honestly, that I want to use. So I kind of want to keep this smoky. Let me see. So Ella. That's really pretty. And filigree. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the color Ella, which is this sheeny shade. Let me swatch it. It's more of a sheen. I don't think it's one of the special shades. It's like more of like her regular formula. I think you could probably, the way this feels, looks like you could do this in the crease as like a matte. It's very pretty. Very pretty taupey. Has a little pink to it, bronzy shade. I'm going to take a smudger brush and drive this. No, I'm not going to spray it or anything. Drag this underneath my lash line. So don't get me wrong, I've seen Drake. And honestly, I've seen Drake twice. He's had one of my favorite concerts that I've ever been to, and I've been to so many concerts. Besides the beach, the concert is where I want to be. A concert is where I want to be besides the beach. And I seen Drake by himself. I don't remember what album it was, but it was one of his older albums. I'm sorry. I think it was maybe the one where he's a little boy on the cover. That might have been it. And he came with Miguel. Very good concert. Me and my sister went together. Then they probably had, I really like that shimmer underneath the eye. I think you could do it wet and it would be more impactful, but I'm happy with that just so you can see, if you don't want to do all the extra, what it would look like. I think that's really pretty. All right, so then I'm going to take filigree, which is this color, which is a little deeper shimmer. I think this might be one of the shimmery shades because it just feels like it has more of an impact. I don't know what the different shades are, but that's that. It's like a brownie taupe. Let me also swatch it on the inside of my hand so you can kind of see it. But it's a very soft, very smooth shimmer. Like, I love this formula, honestly. Way better than I like the one we just put underneath our eyes. I don't think it's as impactful. I like an impactful shimmer. So that's just personal preference. We're going to take filigree. We're going to drop this on our lid. All through the lid. And I'm going to see what it do being dry, and then we might wet it. So anyways, the other time that Drake came that I seen him, it was the best concert. It was Drake and Lil Wayne, and it was like versus. So anybody that is a huge Drake or Lil Wayne fan would know that, you know, Lil Wayne, Drake signed to Lil Wayne's label, which is Young Money. He signed to his label, and he really put Drake on the map at that point in regards to music, Lil Wayne. So they had a concert where they were doing their own songs and battling, but then yet they were doing songs together, and like it was everything. Like that was one of the best concerts that I've been to, and I've been to a lot of concerts, but that was one of my favorite because, for one, I love Lil Wayne. I think he is one of the best rappers, period. And then Drake is like the GOAT, right? Right now, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say the GOAT, but he is like really it. And he brings a whole different vibe. And then back then he was like singing a lot too, and we were just going crazy for some Drake. So I wasn't really tripping about, this is so pretty, a nice little smoky eye, but it's not really dark. I wasn't really tripping about going to see Drake because he's coming with 21 Savage, and like, yeah, it would have been fire. But I was like, I can't afford these tickets, and I've already seen Drake. I'm not really tripping. And then my son, like, he hurt himself. I'm just taking the brush that I had previously, the Rougher 27, and blending everything kind of together. And taking a little bit more mesh. He hurt his hand, so we had to go to the drugstore to get him something to make his, finger, it's all swollen and black and blue, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do we really gotta go to the emergency room right now? Like no, it's not what I want. So my husband's like, no, I think it's fine, just go get it something for it. So we were going on our way over there to get something like a stent or something to put it together, his finger. And Drake, they're doing Drake all over the radio, every Drake song, remixing and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can win tickets. I've won Lil Wayne tickets before, not to that concert. It was a different concert. But I won Lil Wayne tickets before on the radio. So I was like, ooh, maybe, and I haven't given up because I don't know why, but Drake is here 2 times in 1 week. He's here on Tuesday and he's here on Wednesday of Labor Day week. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try to win me some tickets on the radio. My chances are as good as anybody else. But it's also on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday would be better. Because Tuesday, my daughter has a game. She started flag football. So we can't miss that. So I'm like, can we get a Wednesday ticket? Okay. So me and my son. Let me see what I have to use still. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I want to really try. Ooh, these are pretty. I'm going to take this color Whisper, which is another sheen type shade. Like Ella, ooh, but it's way wider. I'm gonna say wider, but look at that. Feels really good. Wow. Swatched really, really good. That's really pretty. We're gonna take that. I'm gonna use the same brush. This was a Sigma E55 that I use for filigree, and we're gonna take Whisper just on the front part of the eye here and see if we get anything different pop in. Me and my son are in the car driving over there to get what he needs, right? And they're like, oh, you can win tickets. I'm like, oh, don't get out of the car. We probably sat in the car for like 30 minutes trying to win tickets on the radio. And I don't know if you've ever tried to win tickets on the radio, but normally when you call, it just ringtone. Not ringtone, busy signal. But this time, they're like, call in, and then don't call in, text the word hotline for this hour. If you know Drake, Hot Light Bling. And then you fill out this information and then they will contact you via email if you want. I said, okay. And they have this every hour on the hour until Wednesday at 5 p.m. Like, I might win some tickets. Okay, I'm just going in with that darker shade again. It's really pretty though. That's pretty. Okay, I can only use one more color and I have 2 more colors to use because I don't want it to look like I just threw a whole bunch of shimmers on my eyelid, you know? So I think, let me see. Ooh, Mia is really, really pretty, but it's more like a topper shade. And might I add, I wasn't really like tripping on Drake until they started playing all his songs on the radio. And I was like, wait, I need to be at that concert. Okay, and Sheen. So Sheen is way more subtle. That would be really pretty by itself. I think I'm going to go in with Mia. Let me swatch it for you. And then another thing is, my sister, she loves Drake too. We went and actually seen the first Drake concert I told you about together with Miguel. This is the color Mia. I think this is one of those special shimmery shades that she added to the palette. Yeah, it definitely has a sheen to it. I feel like it has a purple undertone. Or pinky purple. Definitely has a lot of sparkle to it. So we're just going to take that color on a pencil brush. And this is a Refer 26. And I think I'm going to spray this one. So yeah, me and my sister went to that concert originally together, the first Drake concert. And then her friend got tickets in Vegas and invited her. I said, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I'm sad for me. No, really. Hope she turns up and has so much fun. Vegas concerts are like no other concerts. That is a really pretty, as an inner corner highlight with it being wet. I really, really like that. All right, cool. This is our look. Like, this is it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish up this face, put on mascara, give you a nice little blush and a little bit of lip, and we'll wrap up this video with my final thoughts. Jada decided she had to pop up in the video.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a nice, good comment on my mom's beautiful makeup.
Hi, okay. Yes, so this is the final look using the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. And I really love how this look came out. I like that it has a little smoky vibe, but it's mostly shimmers. I think it's really, really pretty. Let me tell you how I wrapped up this look and then we'll go over this palette real quick. I used a lot of the same things I used in the other looks, honestly. One in my Pat McGrath blush, same one. Which one is this? I don't even know. Divine Rose? That was a guess. Paradise Venus. Paradise Venus blush. I went in with my Cookie highlighter, which I think I used in my last look. We wrapped it up with our Bad Gal Bang mascara. I did go in with my Slick Waterline in Ivory by Melt. I love this pencil. I have to get the new colors, like the black and the white probably. I don't know. Ivory is really good though for like darker skin tones instead of like a white. So I'm not mad at that. For my lips, I just topped it off with the Lip Glow Oil by Dior. And this one is in Mahogany. So just something simple, hydrating, give a little bit of a tint, but not too much since we kind of have a smoky vibe going on. So the palette. And if you've made it this far, go ahead and draw me a pink heart in the comments. Like, real ones come through. Okay, so this palette. We used all of the tones, I believe, in this palette. I did actually, I should say, because I did use the color Sheen. This is my 4th time using this palette since I've got it. I went to the Beyonce concert and I thought it was perfect because it was like silvery tones and cool tones vibe for her tour. And she's, you know, Virgo. We wanted to represent for her or whatnot because my husband is a Virgo coming up in a couple days. But anyways, I went in with this shade Sheen during that look that I did. So I can honestly say that I have used every color in this palette. I think they all performed really well. I liked all of my looks that I did. I love these shimmers, like the one I used today, Filigree. And I think, oh, I definitely love Muse. I think that's the same kind of formula. Those ones were gorgeous. Formula Delilah, I think that we used in the first look was really good. I like the dark, and I really like the color Stone up here. I like Stone. The way it transitioned onto my eye. I like the colors that we used today to Whisper. I really like a lot of the shades in here because they're cool tones. They're, you know, taupey type of shades. I can appreciate us having these two cool or warmer tone, peachy leaning shades. I really like the palette. It's a very neutral. I think this can be somebody's everyday palette. And that being said, I feel like my looks all kind of look alike. Like I did different tones and I did different colors, but I don't think you get a full different like variety. I think this is great for like 1 and done, 2 and done, 3 and done type of shades. When you want it, when you know you're gonna get a good formula like Natasha Denona, plus it's not a lot of color, like colors, like it's more muted, it's more taupey, it's more nude, like it's more nude. There's not a lot of color in here, and I knew that getting it. When I was seeing it, I was like, dang, I went back and forth because it looked really pink to me. I'm happy that it's not as pink. I mean, it leans pink, personally, I think. But it's more nude pinks. Like, when you look at my eye, it doesn't look like I have a whole bunch of pinky tones on my face. And I went in with this color, Mia, like, which is pink. You know, I went in with Mesh, which has like a pink. I went in with Fair, pink. Like it's not pulling all that. Filigree is not, obviously, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. I just feel like a lot of these looks are going to look alike. I think my 3-4 looks that I've done so far with this palette have looked alike. I don't know why I'm complaining about Drake and I sing Beyonce, but Drake is a whole nother level. Side note, Beyonce's tickets were hecka cheap. We got them like my sister got them for me last minute. I'm hoping Drake does that. Like, I'm talking like cheap, $30, $40, nothing. Anyways, back to that was just talking about the whole Drake situation when he charged a $300 to $1,000 ticket. Okay. Anyway, I really enjoyed this palette. I'm glad that I have it in my collection. I'm glad I did not pass on it. Natasha Denona has a great formula. I can take these shadows out and move them around into different palettes, make my own palette, create. So that's another reason why I did pick this up. But I know I like cool tones and I like taupey shades. So I was sold. I think it's very great for somebody if this is like your everyday palette go-to, definitely. So easy to blend. I did both these eyes on camera for you guys. Very easy. Very easy. And you can always use something like one of this palette and then throw in a hint of color somewhere. Also, this would be a palette I could just pick up and go. I don't have to think about too much of what I'm going to do because it's just effortless. Like, it blends really nicely. The shimmers, some of them are really impactful, some of them are more sheeny. Just depends on what you want for your look, you know. I do personally like a little bit more color, like different color. That's why I really enjoyed the Yucca palette, because I like yellows, I like greens, I like that type of vibe. I also think we could have gone with one more deep shade. I don't necessarily think we need mesh and tone, and I really like tone more than mesh. Tinder was very good. I could have probably even done without these two, Wit and Vogue. I like Vogue. Wit was nice too. I can't even say that, but I just wish that I had a deeper tone, another deep shade. All in all, I really enjoyed this palette. I love the packaging. I love that it's like the plastic, and then like I can get fingerprints on it, but you can't really tell. Okay. But it is pretty basic and simple. But yeah, there's somebody out here that this is gonna be like their go-to everyday palette. I'm definitely gonna use it here and there. I love the tones. I love the taupey shades. So I hope this 3 looks in this, review really helps you guys out in deciding if this is a palette that you want. I'm glad that I was able to bring it to you on my skin tone, as sometimes it's questionable with some tones that you see. But one thing I can say that I've noticed about Natasha Denona in reviewing her palettes is that they oxidize. So they show up. Like, what was it? Retro Glam palette. I love that palette. That green palette. So good. Like, I have to bring it out. I can't wait to play with it. And again, I think it would go actually a good companion palette. Let me pull it out. We looked at the palette next to the Glam palette, and there's different tones. I mean, they're similar to a point, but I really think the newer palette is more pink leaning. So this is the Glam palette, the Retro Glam palette with the green tones. Let me open up. I need a nude. Because the Retro Glam palette was so subtle on me, but it was so beautiful. And then I also see some taupey shades in here that would mesh well, and pinky shades that would mesh well. I think that these two would be so good for like a palette matchup. So good. Because you're still getting color out of the Retro Glam. And there are some darker shades, some shimmers, taupey shades. You don't have a deep shade for sure, but what if this deep shade with this palette? Like, okay, I think that this could be a nice little mashup. Anyways, loving me some Natasha Denona. So I babbled on long enough. I hope you got some inspiration from this video with this I Need a New palette. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did you pick it up? How are you feeling about it? Are you gonna wait? Are you like, no, Tia, that's a pass, too boring? Like, what are your thoughts on this palette? Leave me a comment down below. Thanks so much for spending your time with me, you guys. Remember, there's only one way to do your makeup, and that's your way. We'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day. Peace. Oh, I'll let you know if I get to drape.